Hello everyone, I am Professor Aside Bottom, and in this video I will explain the imperfect tense in Spanish and its uses. First, let's learn how to form the imperfect tense for regular verbs. For AR verbs like cantar, caminar, hablar, we remove the AR ending from the verb and we add the following endings to the remaining stem. Aba, abas, aba, abamos, abais, aban. So here we have the verb caminar in the infinitive, which means to walk. The stem of it is camin and AR is the ending. The imperfect tense for this verb caminar is going to be yo caminaba, tú caminabas, usted caminaba, él caminaba, ella caminaba. Nosotros caminábamos, vosotros caminabais, ustedes caminaban. Next, let's see how we form the imperfect tense for regular verbs that end in ER or IR. ER verbs like comer, correr, beber, IR verbs like abrir, escribir, recibir. For these verbs, for ER and IR, we do the same thing. We remove the ending and we add to the stem the following endings. Ia, ias, ia, íamos, íais, ían. Like old MacDonald had a farm, like in the song. Here is the example comer, the infinitive. Com is the stem after removing the ER ending. The imperfect tense for the verb comer is yo comía, tú comías, usted comía, él comía, ella comía, nosotros comíamos, vosotros comíais, ustedes comían, ellos comían, ellas comían. And for the IR verb, I chose recibir, to receive. Yo recibía, tú recibías, usted recibía, él recibía, ella recibía, nosotros recibíamos, vosotros recibíais, ustedes recibían, ellos recibían, ellas recibían. And please notice here in small print the verb I, which means normally there are in present tense, becomes había in the imperfect tense, for there was, there were. Now let's talk about the imperfect tense of irregular verbs. Luckily, in the imperfect, there are only 3 irregular verbs: ser, to be, ir, to go, and ver, to see. Ser will be conjugated as follows. Yo era, tú eras, usted era, él era, ella era. Nosotros éramos, vosotros erais, ustedes eran, ellos eran, ellas eran. For ir, yo iba, tú ibas, usted iba, él iba, ella iba. Nosotros íbamos, vosotros ibais, ustedes iban, ellos iban, ellas iban. And finally for ver, yo veía, tú veías, usted veía, ella veía, él veía. Nosotros veíamos, vosotros veíais, ustedes veían, ellos veían, ellas veían. There are no stem changing verbs in the imperfect tense, as you can see in the small print down at the bottom. And I gave an example. Ella seguía el mismo camino. She used to follow the same road. Now let's talk about the translation of the imperfect tense in English. We usually translate the imperfect tense with was plus the ing form of the verb, like was walking, was talking, was singing, was teaching, or by the expression used to walk, used to teach, used to sing. And I'm giving you here two examples. Yo caminaba por el parque cuando estaba en Madrid. I was walking through the park when I was in Madrid. Or you can also translate it as I used to walk through the park when I was in Madrid. Ella comía muchos dulces. She was eating lots of sweets. Or you can say she used to eat lots of sweets, depending on the context. Now, when do we use the imperfect tense? Number one, the imperfect tense is used for description, like setting the scene in a book. Era una noche muy oscura, the description of a night. Pedro se sentía muy triste, the description of feelings. Él era un hombre alto y delgado. Here's a physical description. Pedro tenía 30 años. Age description. Number two, the imperfect tense is used for talking about habitual actions in the past. And for that, we're using expressions very often like de niño, de niña, cuando era niño, cuando era niña, todos los días, mientras, etc. Here is an example. Cuando era niña, mi abuela me contaba muchos cuentos. When I was a child, my grandmother used to tell me lots of stories. Here is that a translation of used to. And number three, the imperfect tense is used for talking about events and actions in progress in the past. María bailaba mientras su novio tocaba la guitarra. Maria was dancing while her boyfriend was playing the guitar. And here we have the translation was plus ing, was dancing and was playing. Now let's review what we have learned today. We form the imperfect tense by adding to the stem of the AR verbs the endings aba, abas, aba, abamos, abais, aban, and to the stem of the ER and IR verbs the endings ia, ias, ia, iamos, iais, ian. There are only three irregular verbs in the imperfect tense, and these are ser, ir, and ver. We usually translate the imperfect tense with was plus ing or used to, like was learning, was reading, was walking, or used to learn, used to read, used to walk. And finally, the imperfect tense is used for description, habitual actions in the past, and events in progress in the past. Thank you for your attention. I hope this video will help you better understand the imperfect tense in Spanish. Hasta la próxima!